The North Florida Sports Network. Football. North Florida Sports Network. Yes, hey, what's up? Welcome back. It's the North Florida Sports Network. It is just another football Monday, but not like any other because it's week 0. We got 2 games to discuss. One of them won. FAMU luckily came away with, but man, they made it really, really nerve-wracking. And we'll talk about that later. But let's talk about the Noles. Jimmy Reno's calling it sick today. I don't blame him, but got to get up, got to go to work, which I already did. But let's talk about the game. Georgia Tech, 24-21. I went back and watched it. Look at the numbers, and it's kind of tough to watch. But I came away, again, similar to when I was watching it the first time, is that the defensive line got manhandled. We really missed Fisk and Verse, and those guys brought it to another level. And when Peyton's the guy, he disappeared this game, as did everyone else on that line. And that was supposed to be one of the strengths. So did any of the other position groups that you didn't count on to be good step up? No. No. Linebackers. I mean, we got to do something there. Play the new guys. But they completely were just destroyed. It's like they were magnetized to the Georgia Tech blockers. And Georgia Tech, though, I want to give them credit. They are great. I mean, they played well. They had a perfect game plan, and that was to keep the ball away. And we didn't help that because the first drive went well, but the only other drive you had that is that in the fourth quarter, but that's 15 plays, 8 minutes and 18 seconds. Some other drives, Florida State had 6 plays, 22 yards, and that's a punt. That's a third quarter drive. 6 plays, 11 yards, 3 minutes and 25 seconds. Those are your third quarter drives. And you went and you finally, hey, we got to throw the ball here. But you went on a 15-play, 84-yard drive, but you still didn't throw the ball down the field. Some big throws there on fourth down, but on defense, 11 plays, 89 yards, 6 minutes and 28 seconds. That's before you go on a 15-play, 84-yard drive. So you give them the ball back, and they 12 plays, 49 yards. I mean, they did exactly what they wanted to. They didn't want to even score. They just wanted to keep the ball away. That's the part that's the most frustrating. I mean, you come out of the gate, 7-play, 75-yard drive, but they come right back and one up you with a 6-play, 79-yard drive. And then it's 9 plays, 44 yards, turnover on downs. And it's a punt. And then we get a field goal, 8 plays, 41 yards. So we're not, I mean, look at this. This is not, and then you got 14 plays, 75 yards for them, 7 minutes and 53 seconds. I mean, you got 8 minutes there. And then they went on another 5-minute, 41-yard drive that missed a field goal. They did have a minus 2-yard drive in the third quarter. you had 1 3 and out. Other than that, you got him to punt. You had 2 3 and outs. You had one in the first quarter, and you had one in the third quarter. Other than that, they went 6-play, 79-yard touchdown drive. 14-play, 75-yard touchdown drive. 5-play, 41-yard missed field goal. 11 plays, 89 yards touchdown drive, and a 12-play, 49-yard game-winning field goal drive. I mean, you can't win. When you're trying to run the ball yourself. So when it's taking you 8.5 minutes to run your best drive of the game, they were like, fine. You're just setting it up where we can just go down and kick the field goal. The guy has to be a gas pedal switch. There has to be an aggressive, you have to throw to set up the pass. This is the new era. There was 9 people in the box, safeties blitzing all day long. Nobody went deep. They did have Ja'Kai Douglas on a throw that DJ probably should have made. But other than that, I don't remember them taking any shots. And when you do that, I mean, it's going to be hard to run on anybody. So back to the drawing board for Florida State. But this is a team in Georgia Tech that we got, you want to wait and see what they do. They got a tough schedule, but a lot of their schedule, the meat's on the end. And they got past their first challenge. And they have a veteran quarterback, which means so much. That kid got out of so many plays that could have been disastrous. And he made the right decision. Son of a coach. Son of a bitch. He played well. And the running back, Haynes, had 2 touchdowns for them. 11 carries, 78 yards. Jeez. You're not going to get it done there. They didn't try to throw the ball. 11 of 16. And they were short passes to Rutherford, who had 66 yards receiving. They didn't get sacked. And I think there was only 9.1 yards per play. No turnovers in the game. And what we say, if they didn't turn the ball over, this game would be close. Now, Florida State, maybe on offense, you want to see more aggressiveness after that first drive. You think right down when you run the ball right down their throat, they're going to sell out for the run. That's when I would have liked to see DJ throw the ball. But again, they didn't. It seemed like the coach was calling it close to the vest. And this is a guy on his third team, and he looked a little bit. He looked a little bit slow. Now, he didn't play bad. But someone's going to have to make plays. And you're going to have to get turnovers. It's different. It's a different ball game, and we have to have a receiver step up. I mean, you can't just be dinking and dunking. It's going to be a long year. You almost want to see. I mean, he didn't even take any chances. I mean, that shows me that there's not a lot of trust there. So it was a new environment. Hopefully get back home under the lights in a smaller, renovated Doak Campbell Stadium. Not yet under construction Doak Campbell Stadium on Labor Day night. Still should be a great atmosphere. You want to see that, but you're going against a BC team that gave you fits last year. Castellano's coming back, and then they have Deshaun Ward, former running back for Florida State. So that's going to be a tough game. But 24-21, Georgia Tech wins it, and it just flew by. As we mentioned, the drives. I mean, total yards, 291 for Florida State, 336 for Georgia Tech. 291 yards. That's not, you were 2 of 3 on fourth down, 5 of 12 on third. They were 5 of 9 on third. They did not go for a fourth down. 2 penalties, 0 penalties for Georgia Tech. 12 rushes for first downs to 6. And then Florida State threw the ball for first, but it was a little too late. And I thought they want to open it up a little more. You almost want to see the picks come. I mean, rather than just punt it, you want to have him learn and take the chances. And who's going to step up out wide? You heard Malik Benson, who had some catches. Ja'Kai Douglas was there. And they just didn't have many plays because they could not get Georgia Tech off the field. Credit to Georgia Tech. They got a good team. I think they're going to make a run this year because they have a quarterback. Now they have to play Miami. They have to play Notre Dame. That's not a conference game, though, so it'll come down to the Miami game for them. And Miami will want to pay him back based on last year's upset. So this team has spoiled the opener for the Florida State faithful, but all is not lost. I think what I saw was they were overhyping Florida State for the game. They were underselling Georgia Tech on purpose. I mean, they wanted to have it seem like a upset, but I really don't think it was that big of one because I think Georgia Tech's really good. Look at the positions. They're all returning. They got new players on the defensive line, new coach, the D coordinator from Mike Elko over at Duke. You saw what Duke did on defense last year. So you took the number one rushing offense from the conference, and now you put a revamped defense with a quarterback and a Coach D, who's former O-line coach at Alabama, knows a thing or two. And they put it on you, and you got to regroup. But you got to tip your cap to Georgia Tech. I'll be rooting for them the rest of the year. I would not be surprised if you saw Georgia Tech make it to the championship game. So Florida State needs to win out and get a rematch. That would be something. All right, well, let's go over some of the numbers. Well, we already did. 19 and 27 for DJ. No picks, no touchdowns. Missed one, 193 yards for him. 11 of 16 for Haynes King. Only had 146 yards. But I'm telling you what, he did not get sacked, and he ran the ball very effectively. And just that won the game. He was the difference of the game. The plays he had to make under stress were the hardest of the game, and he made the right decisions. Credit to Georgia Tech. Florida State, they'll have Boston College coming in on Labor Day. So we'll have to regroup, see what's going on with the defense because Graham, I don't want to see it. These linebackers, no. Play the young guys. Put Blake in there. Let them make mistakes and learn. You got to have guys that can get off blocks and be physical. It was embarrassing seeing the way Georgia Tech manhandled our defense and did whatever they wanted to do. That's what sticks out. Offense, frustrating. I think it was a little timid. But when you can't get the damn ball, it's going to be hard and maybe a little too late on the adjustments. So, but there was a winning team in town as FAMU squeaked by. I mean, goodness gracious. By 1 point. Oh my goodness. And it came down to the end. There was a penalty at the end on the point after. Norfolk State decided to go for the win, and the defense came up with the stop to get the win. Big win for FAMU to try to not get upset. You know, this was a team that was 3-8 last year. So this is the MEAC SWAC Challenge. James Colsey, his debut. This would have been a tough loss for Colsey. Man. So it's going to, I mean, Daniel Richardson, the quarterback for FAMU, squeezed by. But he's got big shoes to fill with Musa leaving, Jeremy Musa, SWAC Offensive Player of the Year. So back to the drawing board for FAMU because they got lucky to get out of there. I mean, you don't want to see the game come down to that. But it was an exciting game. FAMU was down 14. They came back and got the win. And they had to face adversity, and they came back and win. Now that's going to unify a team. And I know people want to say a loss can make a unified team, and it can. But I think sometimes a win can too when you strive and you come back like they did. It can kind of teach you to take it seriously from the get-go, maybe get some things corrected, but they finished with 403 total yards, 267 in the second half. But the good thing is, though, the Rattlers did what Georgia Tech was able to do to Florida State when they got the ball back after Norfolk State missed that 2-point. They were able to go for the final 6 minutes and take a knee. So now it's back to Bragg, keep the streak alive against South Carolina State. That's going to be a big game, the home opener. We'll have more on that. But so just another football Monday. You know, I'm not going to do what everybody thinks you're going to do and wig out. I mean, there's times where, you feel like you're mad and
I'm goddamn madder than shit.
But you got to get over that, You got to
go to the next hole.
Oh, yeah, you got to. All right.
We had to go. Our ride was here.
We got to get on out of here. Our ride's here. We got a big week to preview coming up. Week 1. And it's Miami, Florida week, too. Oh, boy. There's a lot of pressure on both sides of that one. Florida has a really tough schedule in the SEC. They drew the short straw. So they need to get this win to get a leg up on that competition. As I already said, if Florida makes it to a bowl with that schedule, that's a win. And Napier, if he wants to, he's on the hot seat. And if he wants to keep his job, he needs to win early. As for Miami, Mario Cristobal. You got last year's game. You gave a game away, embarrassingly. But now you got your quarterback. Anxious to see the kid from Washington State. I think he's good. Is that the difference? We shall see. We're going to get up with our basketball Miami contributor. I know he's excited. But a different story this season with the loss for the Noles. But, hey, you got Boston College coming in here, and they're looking to get revenge. They want to win. They played FSU tough last year, so you got a lot of work to do. A lot of things to clean up. Who's going to stop that run at the linebacker position? Who's going to step up on the D-line and be the leader? Because they need one. Who is it? Who's going to be that guy to make the big play down the field on offense? I don't know. We shall see. But we'll talk about it, and we'll predict it, and we'll talk to you next time, right here on the North Florida Sports Network.
I'm gonna beat the shit out of you.
We had to go. Our ride was here. We got a shuttle to our